Good morning, everyone, and happy or good afternoon and happy Monday to you. I am going to be continuing on. I hope everybody who celebrates had a happy holiday as well. I'm going to be continuing on with Carl Rogers on becoming a person. And I'm going to be starting from the bottom of page 49, some comments, and reading through to page 52, right before where number 4 begins. So here we go. Some comments. These then are some of the studies which throw at least a measure of light on the nature of the helping relationship. They have investigated different facets of the problem. They have approached it from very different theoretical contexts. They have used different methods. They are not directly comparable, yet they seem to me to point to several statements which may be made with some assurance. It seems clear that the relationships which are helpful have different characteristics from relationships which are unhelpful. These differential characteristics have to do primarily with the attitudes of the helping person on the one hand and with the perception of the relationship by the helpee on the other. It is equally clear that the studies thus far made to not give us any final answers as to what is a helping relationship, nor how it can be formed. How can I create a helping relationship? I believe each of us working in this field of human relationships has a similar problem in knowing how to use such research knowledge. We cannot savagely follow such findings in a mechanical way, or we destroy the personal qualities which these very studies show to be valuable. It seems to me that we have to use these studies, testing them against our own experience, and forming new and further personal hypotheses to use and test in our own further personal relationships. So rather than tell you how you should use these findings I have presented, I should like to tell you the kind of questions which these studies and my own clinical expertise raise for me, and some of the tentative and changing hypotheses which guide my behavior as I enter into what I hope may be helping relationships, whether with students, staff, family, or clients. Let me list the number of these questions and considerations. Number 1, can I be in some way which will be perceived by the other person as trustworthy, as dependable, or consistent in some deep sense? Both research and experience indicate that this is very important, and over the years I have found what I believe are deeper and better ways of answering this question. I used to feel that if I fulfilled all the outer conditions of trustworthiness, keeping appointments, respecting the confidential nature of the interviews, etc., and if I acted consistently the same during the interviews, then this condition would be fulfilled. But experience drove home the fact that to act consistently acceptant, for example, if in fact I was feeling annoyed or skeptical or some other non-acceptant feeling, was certain in the long run to be perceived as inconsistent or untrustworthy. I have come to recognize that being trustworthy does not demand that I be rigidly consistent, but that I be dependably real. The term congruent is one I have used to describe the way I would like to be. By this, I mean that whatever feeling or attitude I am experiencing would be matched by my awareness of the attitude. When this is true, then I am unified or integrated person in that moment, and hence I can be whatever I deeply am. This is a reality which I find others experience as dependable. Number 2, a very closely related question is this: can I be expressive enough as a person that what I will be, can I be expressive enough as a person that what I am will be communicated unambiguously? I believe that most of my failures to achieve a helping relationship can be traced to unsatisfactory answers to these 2 questions. When I am experiencing an attitude of annoyance toward another person, but I'm unaware of it, then my communication contains contradictory messages. My words are giving one message, but I am also in subtle ways communicating the annoyance I feel, and this confuses the other person and makes him distrustful, though he may be too aware of what is causing that difficulty. When, as a parent or a therapist or a teacher or an administrator, I fail to listen to what is going on in me, fail because of my own defensiveness to sense my own feelings, then this kind of failure seems to result. It has made it seem to me that the most basic learning for anyone who hopes to establish any kind of helping relationship is that it is safe to be transparently real. If in a given relationship I am reasonably congruent, if no feelings relevant to the relationship are hidden either to me or the other person, then I can be almost sure that the relationship will be a helpful one. One way of putting this, which may seem strange to you, is that if I can form a helping relationship to myself, if I can be sensitively aware of and acceptant toward my own feelings, then the likelihood is great that I can form a helping relationship toward another. Now, acceptantly to be what I am in this sense, and to permit this to show through to the other person, is the most difficult task I know, and one I have never fully achieved. But to realize that this is my task has been the most rewarding because it has helped me to find what has gone wrong with interpersonal relationships which have become snarled and to put them on a constructive track again. It has meant that if I am to facilitate the personal growth of others in relation to me, then I must grow, and while this is often painful, it is also enriching. Number 3. A third question is, can I let myself experience positive attitudes towards this other person? Attitudes of warmth, caring, liking, interest, respect. It is not easy. I find myself and feel that I often see in others a certain amount of fear of these feelings. We are afraid that if we let ourselves freely experience these positive feelings toward another, we may be trapped by them. They may lead to demands on us, or we may be disappointed in our trust. And these outcomes we fear. So as a reaction, we tend to build up distance between ourselves and others, aloofness, a professional attitude of impersonal relationships. I feel quite strongly that one of the important reasons for the professionalization of every field is that it helps to keep this distance. In the clinical areas, we develop elaborate diagnostic formulations, seeing the person as an object. In teaching and in administration, we develop all kinds of evaluative procedures so that, again, the person is perceived as an object. In these ways, I believe we can keep ourselves from experiencing the caring which would exist if we recognize the relationship as one between two persons. It is a real achievement when we can learn, even in certain relationships or at certain times in those relationships, that it is safe to care, that it is safe to relate to the other person for whom we have positive feelings. So, end of reading for today, and next time we will continue on from with beginning of number 4 on page 52. So thank you for being with me, and I look forward to continuing on at another time.